Family. You see the title. You're about to see a baby. Babies. All right? Now I'm going to show you some footage I got of these. The original video I had showed the babies. I'm going to play it out as I filmed it. And then after that, I'm having someone join me. Because instead of showing you these babies, it's an animal I'm not very educated on. Not very knowledgeable. But I decided, you know what? Let's make this educational. So I reached out to a friend to help educate me and you all as well about these amazing animals. So not only are you going to see these babies, you're going to see some other animals as well. So you're going to see many animals throughout this video. So joining me in this video is going to be Javon from Reptiles. I'm going to have all his social media linked in the description. Please go check him out. Amazing guy. So I'm going to show you again the footage I got as it is. And then after that, Javon's going to join me. Let's get to it. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Do I have a surprise for you? Inside this container. Super cute. Can't wait to show y'all. Subscribe if you're new. Let's get right to it, all right? So, inside this container, what do you think's in here? Let's take a look. Uh-oh, there's eggs. Wonder what were in these eggs. Look at that, everyone. Oh my God, how adorable. How cute are these? Now these are Greek tortoises. Isn't this just the cutest ever? Oh my God. Greek tortoises. So cute. So adorable, right? Now I wanted to film outside, but of course, as soon as I get off work, it starts raining, so I can't do that. But anyways, how this is gonna work, I sent Javon a list of questions, he sent back the answers. So I'm gonna say the questions, show you what he sent back. Remember, not only is he very knowledgeable on tortoises, which is the topic of this video, very knowledgeable on other reptiles and other animals as well. But why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself, and share with us, where did your love of reptiles begin?
Alright, so my name is Javon, aka Ready Reptiles. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube at Ready Reptiles as well. And I've been working with tortoises for my entire life. I am 21 years old, but at the age of 1, I was gifted my first Sulcata tortoise. I am no longer with that tortoise, but that tortoise sparked my passion. And from there, I started keeping all sorts of reptiles, snakes, lizards, geckos, turtles, tortoises, everything you can name, any exotic animal that I could get my hands on. And of course, tortoises are my #1 motive and passion. What I do with these animals is I would love to produce them for conservation purposes. I deal with a lot of endangered species such as the Radiator Tortoise, the Aldabra Tortoise, other species as well that I work with. Right here, this is Mr. Goobs, a Sulcata Tortoise. He is one of my oldest tortoises here. And then Gabs is back there behind the burrow, if you can see her. So with that being said, I'm happy to be in this video. Thank you so much, Mark, for the opportunity, and let's get started.
The energy of Javon just unmatched, so contagious. But the next question, how long have you been working with tortoises and turtles?
So I've been working with turtles and tortoises basically my entire life. Like I said previously, I got my first Sulcata tortoise, Panchita, when I was 1 year old. I had her for about 13 years. And then from there, I started to trade her for some leopard geckos. And then my passion for breeding snakes and other reptiles, of course, sparked from there. But I've been consistently keeping tortoises and turtles for about 5-6 years now. I was able to move back to a house where I have ample space outside here in South Florida. So I'm able to keep these animals in and outdoors as they please. Obviously, species specific care is required for each. And then right here is a Radiated tortoise. But like I said, I've been working with tortoises for about 5-6 years consistently.
So the next question I have for you is, what's the difference between turtles and tortoises? When I think of things like the box turtle, it looks very similar to this, tortoise-like. But is there a difference?
So oftentimes people refer to a tortoise as a turtle, and then obviously turtles are commonly associated with sea turtles and any kind of like a red-eared slider aquatic species that you find in local ponds, lakes, rivers. Most people are introduced to turtles before they are to tortoises, but in fact every turtle is a tortoise, but not every tortoise is a turtle. It's a very common saying because obviously these guys are very similar in appearances. They have very similar qualities, but most turtles, of course, are aquatic. Tortoises have the ability to go in water, and it has been said to find some species floating across the ocean, like the Aldabra tortoise, but that's not a very common thing. And obviously, these animals aren't as buoyant as a aquatic turtle because aquatic turtles are meant for that kind of environment. So these are land tortoises. But here in my hand is obviously a shell. This animal died of natural causes. It was an ornate wood turtle, Central American ornate wood turtle. And as you can see, I'm referring to it as a turtle, although it has the similar appearance to a tortoise. So that very high domed carapace, flat plastron, they both have the same carapace and plastron, but this animal obviously is able to go in water. So this is something I would relate to similarly to a box turtle. Like I said, box turtles are turtles, but they are sort of tortoise-like in the fact that they are semi-aquatic and they prefer to stay on land more than they do in the water. So you can see inside here, the spinal cord is attached to the top of the shell because tortoises are their shell. Their shell is a bone which is covered in keratin, just like our fingernails and hair. They live inside of it. They cannot completely retract in like people think and come out of their shell, but they're able to just kind of boop in and boop out, as you can see. So this is goobs, this is gabs. These are both my Sulcata tortoises. And obviously there are main differences between turtles and tortoises, which is the fact that turtles swim and tortoises do not. Tortoises can go in the water slightly and kind of soak, but turtles can come out of the water, walk around, and then go back in and swim. So those are a few of the differences. There's also differences in the fact of their shell shape. Like they're both rounded, but tortoises are mostly high domed. Turtles are kind of flatter just so they can be more aquatically dynamic when they're swimming. Obviously, these tortoises, land tortoises, mostly have elephantine-like feet. Turtles have more flipper-like. This species in particular has more of an elephantine feet, like I said, because it is semi-aquatic. So it's not going to be, swimming in deep water, just kind of creeks and small streams. So hopefully that answers your question.
Now this baby tortoise, just so tiny. It literally blows my mind how tiny it is. And when I think of tortoises, I think of massive, massive creatures. So what is the largest tortoise on Earth?
So this right here is a small young baby redfoot tortoise. These guys come from South America. This is a northern version of the redfoot tortoise. There is a nice adult walking around in their habitat. But the question you're asking, Mark, is this is a very tiny tortoise. What is the largest species of tortoise in the world? And that has to go to the Galapagos tortoise and the Aldabra tortoise. So my opinion is kind of interchangeable depending on certain individuals, but Galapagos tortoise kind of takes the cake for being the largest tortoise in the world. There are different species of Galapagos tortoise, but all relatively hit the 500-600 pound mark. Some Aldabra tortoises can get that size. This is an old picture that I have at Parrot Jungle. If I go inside this habitat right here, you can see there is Aristotle. Aristotle is an Aldabra tortoise, a very young one, but as Aristotle grows, it'll obviously gain a lot difference in size and it'll become a giant, a gentle giant. Of course, these are very true elephantine-like tortoises because they have the same kind of foot pattern and shape and ability as an elephant does, just like I explained with the Sulcata tortoises. These guys are actual grassland species coming from the Galapagos, but the Aldabra comes from the Aldabra atolls in the Seychelles Islands. So as you can see, there is the difference. There's a small little redfoot tortoise, and there is a larger Aldabra tortoise, Aristotle. And like I said, there's some adult redfoots here. If I come to the other side of their habitat, you can see this is Plato, and Plato is a smaller Aldabra tortoise, but same elephantine-like feet, of course. And these are terrestrial tortoises, being the second largest, also interchangeable with the Galapagos, which is the first largest, and the Sulcata is the third largest tortoise in the world.
Speaking of the Galapagos and Aldabra tortoise, when Hannah and I visited Florida, we visited our friend, great animal educator, Lewis, Javon's friend as well, Lewis of Birds and Exotics of the World. These clips I'm showing you are of a young Galapagos and Aldabra tortoise. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know which one's which, but these are Galapagos and Aldabra tortoise. So the whole reason this video came to be is because my friend let me know that these tortoises hatched, got some footage. So, Javon, how long do tortoise eggs usually take till they hatch?
So for this next clip, we are in the incubator. I have Cyclura eggs, which are a Lewisi hybrid cross that are incubating in here. This tub's empty, and the last of the redfoot eggs that may or may not hatch are right there. The question is, how long do tortoise eggs take to incubate? And that varies between species, but of course a redfoot egg, I can answer that, lasts about 125 days in incubation. A sulcata egg anywhere from 100 to 120 days. And this is interchangeable and varies depending on the temperatures, the fertility of the egg, and when the egg would like to hatch. So once they hatch from here, what I do is I move them into these tubs here where I keep my tortoises inside. The first two are for radiated tortoises, and this is when they are, coming inside for the night, or it's cold or it's raining. I put them in here. And then the redfoots, which are outside right now soaking, which we'll get into the next clip.
So my viewers and people that know me know cobras, my favorite snakes. Black Pakistan cobra, my favorite of all time. So Javon, do you have a favorite tortoise species?
So if I had to pick a favorite species of tortoise, it would have to be the radiated tortoise. I do love all species of tortoises, but ones that I've strived to work with and I really want to do some conservation work are these radiateds. These guys come from Madagascar. They're critically endangered, and I'm lucky to have 8 of them in my habitats, in my collection, of course. These guys I've had since they're babies, and I'm raising them up so that in the future they can breed.
Now, Javon, being a viewer of your page, I noticed that you talk about soaking tortoises, and you'll have them in a little container of water. And you say it's very important to soak them. Why is that?
All right, Mark, so you and everybody that follows me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok know that I love to soak my tortoises. I talk about soaking all the time, and the reason why I do this is because I believe it is a very key and vital part into raising a happy and healthy tortoise in any environment that you have. So obviously these guys are in South Florida, so I'm able to keep them indoors and outdoors as I please, but the majority of the time they spend is outdoors. And the reason why we soak is because the UVB and UVA rays provided by the sun are a natural, nutrients that they can absorb. This prevents metabolic bone disease. We're able to have smooth shell growth to an extent, obviously, because there's different things that also, take into a key when it comes to smooth shell growth, which is also diets, humidity, and other things like that. But you have good bone structure, a happy, healthy tortoise. They're able to absorb this beautiful nutrients that the sun provides. They can also hydrate themselves by drinking in the water. This also means that you must provide water in their habitat, but this is a great way to kind of monitor your animals and make sure that they are drinking as well. I also left this dirty on purpose. You can see they poop and pee in their water. This is a very good thing because you're obviously able to check and monitor their bile, their feces, make sure everything is looking good. You can see there's some happy, healthy tortoise poop floating around. And what I do is I change this out every time I see that it is dirty. I will change this after this clip, but I left it for this clip so you guys can see a nice visual of what it is to soak. I recommend soaking at least daily for about 20 to 30 minutes in direct sunlight, or if you don't have the ability to soak daily, at least 3 days a week minimum. I soak these guys every day, and then I'll soak the Aldabras about 3 times a week just to kind of give them a little bit more of a break because they are larger tortoises. Now, when it comes to adult species, you can soak them in a lot larger tubs, maybe once a week or a few times a month if you have the ability to do so, but providing them water in their habitat and giving them different fruits that are able for their digestive tract, and obviously fresh veggies, they will hydrate themselves like that as well. So it's important to understand that you must put the water level chin high so these guys do not drown, because they are tortoises, they are not turtles, they do not swim, they can only stay kind of above the water level that you supply for them. And you want to make sure it's clean, fresh water, not hot, not too cold, and indirect sunlight is the best. Please keep an eye on them because they can flip themselves over and you don't want them to cook or drown in the water. So this is why I believe soaking is very important. And for more information on soaking, you can always DM me on my Instagram at Reptiles, and I always post videos there providing much more information.
I can't get over how cute this baby is. Now, Javon, what are some goals in regards to these animals? Some of your goals, what are they?
All right, so we are here in my radiated tortoise habitat, and I just kind of want to talk about what is my goal with these animals and every tortoise and reptile that I keep. Obviously, I breed and I do sell these because it's part of my business, but the reason why we sell is so that we can provide captive-born animals and we can eliminate the poaching that goes on in the wild. Now, specifically with these radiated tortoises and hopefully the Aldabras in the very, very far future, as those guys take a long time to grow, the goal is to reproduce these guys and have what is called an assurance colony here in captivity. So like that, their genetics, their bloodline, their species can survive outside of the wild if they were to go extinct. Like I said previously, these guys come from Madagascar, and Madagascar is a country but is also an island off the coast of Africa and the African continent. And these guys are facing severe poaching, severe deforestation, unstable government. They are being used on the black market as an aphrodisiac. They are believed to give some sexual sensational properties behind their shells because of how beautiful they are. But in reality, like I explained earlier, their shell and our fingernail are made of the same material, keratin, and this is just bone under it. So people don't understand that. So what they do is they remove them from the wild, they kill them, they eat them, they ship them, they export them, import them, all sorts of bad things that you're not supposed to do with native wildlife in any place. And obviously these guys are being affected and their population is declining severely. So now a lot of people here in captivity produce these guys. My goal is to be one of these breeders in the future as these guys are getting older. The three larger ones you see are about 3 years old, and the smaller ones range from anywhere from 2 to about 1 year old, depending on the size of them. So these guys are all uniquely beautiful in their own way. Each one is like a fingerprint. No two tortoises are alike. It has said that Queen Elizabeth back in the day allowed people to search these guys, and if she found two that were alike, she would give them a high reward, but that is obviously impossible. So these guys stay out here throughout the day. I move their cover, but what I do is I kind of just place this over here so I can provide them with ample shade. Like I said, they have water, they have some fake plants, they get food there, and after soaking they hang out through here, and then as you guys saw earlier, once I'm done at night, they go back inside. So this is what I want to do with the radiated tortoises. I want to just continue their species, and same goes for the redfoot, same goes for the sulcatas, the aldabras, and any other species that I work with.
The real question is, do you offer a reward, Javon, if I find 2 radiated tortoises or tortoises with the same pattern? But honestly, those radiated tortoises are gorgeous. Super beautiful. I think I saw some at Lewis's place. But anyways, to end this off, what is one of the coolest facts that you can share with us about tortoises?
So if I had to pick one cool fact I like to tell people is that tortoises drink out of their nostrils. They do not drink traditionally out of their mouth like humans do. The reason why is because in the wild, rain does not collect in large buckets very often. So if it rains and there is water on a leaf or in a rock crevice, they can stick their nose, absorb it like a straw, and they have the ability to close their nasal flaps so like that the water does not mix into their lungs and obviously they would die. It mixes into their stomach and wherever else they need to, they can hydrate themselves. So that's a very cool fact. And also tortoises are creatures of habit, so they have the same routine in captivity in the wild, and they do the same things throughout the same times every day, and they are dawn and dusk animal, which means that they are crepuscular. So that's a very cool few facts that I like to share with people, but the nostril one is always very cool. So thank you so much, Mark, for allowing me to be in this video. I'm happy to share my knowledge with your subscribers. I also am going to be posting these same clips on my channel, so if you guys want to check me out on Instagram, on TikTok, and at YouTube at Ready Reptiles, I post educational videos as much as I can. I'm very active on Instagram and TikTok. YouTube, I'm trying to be more active now. I have tortoises, snakes, iguanas, fish, birds. You can see Buster, my macaws, right behind me. We got lots of animals out here, and I'm very happy to spread knowledge and, you know, just give you guys educational content as much as possible. So thanks again, Mark. Make sure you guys subscribe to Mark as well. Thank you so much.
So as I mentioned, the links to his pages will be in the description. Please go check them out. You won't be disappointed. Now, Javon, truly, it's been an honor to have you join me on this video. My video was, I don't know much about these animals. That's how I ended it. Showing those clips, and then that was all I said. But you made this video possible. Educating not only me, but anyone else who sees this. Incredible. One thing I told Javon is just his energy, the way he presents all the knowledge he has. Incredible. Just blows me away. Super grateful for you. Again, Ready Reptiles. All the links will be in the description. Go check him out. If you have any questions, I'm sure he'll be very glad to answer. But I love you all so much, truly. Subscribe. Be sure to go check Javon out, Ready Reptiles. And to end this off, big shout out to my channel members.